The Galactic Council chamber buzzed with uneasy amusement. The war with the Kreth Dominion had dragged on for decades. Dozens of species had committed fleets numbering in the thousands. Yet the insectoid swarms kept pushing deeper into civilized space. The Council had turned reluctantly to the newcomers, humanity. And humanity had answered by sending a single ship. Ambassador Zealer of the Kalewitch clicked his mandibles together in derision. Is this a joke? One vessel? We requested a fleet to hold the Drac Rift. Not an antique. On the central display, the human warship hung in the void. Unlike the elegant bioorganic cruisers of the Terran or the crystalline dreadnoughts of the Celyar, the human vessel was a brutal silhouette of steel. Its hull was blackened, scarred, bristling with cannons instead of gleaming energy emitters. Counselor Vera of the Terran sniffed. Its design is crude, inefficient. I see no graviton sails, no plasma lance arrays. How could this battleship hope to withstand even a Kreth scouting fleet? The human ambassador, a weathered man named Darius Cole, merely smiled. It will suffice. The council laughed. Humanity had only been spacefaring for 2 centuries, barely out of its cradle. Their fleet was rumored to be a handful of outdated ships patrolling their own borders. And now, with the fate of the galaxy at stake, they had brought one relic to fight a war that had consumed empires. But when the Kreth arrived at the Drac Rift, everything changed. Admiral Kothal of the Kreth Dominion spread his wings across the command dais of the hive-mind carrier. Before him, swarms of bioships spread like a tide, 100 strong. Their mission was simple: breach the rift, annihilate resistance, and establish a staging ground for the next wave. His compound eyes locked on the lone human vessel waiting at the choke point. He hissed with delight. One prey ship dares block the swarm? Tear it apart. Thousands of spore missiles ignited, swarming toward the human vessel like a plague. Bioplasma cannons spat green fire across the void. The swarm screamed forward, confident in numbers, in inevitability. And then the human ship fired. The first salvo of mass-driver cannons tore across the darkness like thunder made visible. Tungsten rods, accelerated to a fraction of light speed, cut through the Kreth swarm. Entire bioships simply ceased to exist, shredded into fragments before their crews even felt the impact. The vacuum lit with artificial meteors as Kreth vessels blossomed into debris clouds. The galaxy had forgotten what kinetics looked like in war. They had moved on to beams, plasma, and graviton shears, clean, elegant weapons. Humanity had embraced something else entirely. Raw, brutal physics. The human ship did not slow. Its cannons roared again, broadside after broadside. Each shot cracked open another Kreth cruiser. When the swarm tried to overwhelm it with sheer mass, the humans answered with point-defense railguns that shredded spore missiles mid-flight, creating glowing storms of annihilation. In the council chamber, silence reigned. The delegates watched as the impossible unfolded. One ship was tearing through a swarm that had devoured fleets. Counselor Vera whispered, "How? How is this possible?" Ambassador Cole finally broke his silence. His voice was calm, almost cold. "You all abandoned the old ways of war. You thought beams and energy were superior. But energy can be absorbed, deflected, countered. Kinetics cannot. You cannot cheat momentum. You cannot shield against a mountain moving at 10% the speed of light." He leaned forward, his eyes hard. "We don't build fleets of 1,000 fragile ships. We build one fortress, one war engine. And when it arrives, the war ends." On the battlefield, the Kreth swarm faltered. Admiral Kothal screeched orders, commanding his remaining ships to swarm the human battleship at close range. The swarm wrapped around it like ants attacking a predator. Bioships latched onto the armored hull, spitting acid, drilling with plasma mandibles. The humans responded by igniting their broadside batteries at point-blank range. The void lit up as hundreds of Kreth ships vaporized instantly. Then, with terrifying precision, the human vessel unleashed its trump-card spinal-mounted coil guns, launching projectiles the size of shuttles. Each one tore through entire lines of Kreth vessels, punching exit wounds kilometers wide. The swarm broke. The surviving Kreth fled into the rift, abandoning the battlefield. Admiral Kothal's carrier tried to retreat, but the human battleship aligned its massive spinal gun. With one deafening roar, it fired a single tungsten spear. The carrier split in half, its corpse tumbling silently into the abyss. The council chamber erupted, not in laughter, but in stunned silence. Ambassador Cole stood, straightening his uniform. That was the UNS Retribution. She is not our first of her kind, nor our last. Humanity does not send fleets to fight wars. We send judgment. Zealer's mandibles clattered nervously. You built more than one? Cole's smile was colder than space itself. You asked for our aid. You have it. But understand this, humanity does not fight wars for sport or for territory. We fight when survival is at stake. Yours, ours, the galaxies. When we come, it is not to skirmish. It is to end the enemy. On the display, the Retribution turned slowly, its guns still glowing, drifting through a graveyard of Kreth wreckage. The silence of victory was broken only by the distant thunder of cannons echoing through the stars. The galaxy had wondered why humanity sent one ship. Now they understood.